Hey everybody, this is Dark Side Elite here, and I wanted to do a quick video about this movie. It's called Batman Hush. This is the DC Universe movie. This is a remake of the old tale told a long time ago, and this was one of the big stories because this was showing two. You learn a lot about who a new villain called himself Hush, and two, this was actually a story that really pit Bruce Wayne into a gigantic whodunit, and I really liked it. I haven't read the book in a very long time. I got to reread it. I think it's on the DC streaming universe. I can go check it out and read it for a little bit. But the but one of the other big things about this book was it was basically another Batman versus Superman, but this was not Superman holding back. This was a Superman that was going to outright kill Bruce Wayne, kill Batman. So this is going to be a non-spoiler. I don't want to spoil it. I think it should be seen, and I have a good amount of problems with it. I'm not going to do a rant um, about it. I think it's not a bad movie. I did a quick synopsis with my buddy, and he read the book and he knows the story about it. So I looked at it, and knowing from the movie and having a long time having not read the book, they did follow the story very well. They just changed a few things. Um, and I will do a small rant about one thing in the movie, and you'll understand the reasoning why. Um, this movie is not bad. It's a really good movie. You have Jason O'Hara, who's been playing Batman for the past 6, 7 years, I believe now, as the animated Batman. Um, he's done a really good job with the character and really made the character his own in the same vein as Kevin Conroy. Um, you get Jennifer Morrison playing as Catwoman, and Jennifer Morrison is she's been in a few live action shows. She was Doctor Chase in House, and she was also the chosen one in Once Upon a Time. So she was Snow White and Prince Charming's daughter in Once Upon a Time. So she has a good name, credible name, and they have a few other actors and actresses who've been playing in the animated side of their movies for about a few years now. They had Jerry O'Connell and Rebecca Romaine as Superman and Lois Lane. I have no problem with that. I think Jerry O'Connell is doing a really good job with the character. He's a huge Superman fan, and I don't think he's gonna um, screw the character up. I think he's gonna keep the character the way he feels, the way the character needs to be portrayed, and he's doing the voice very, very well. A good deep voice for him. I mean, because Jerry O'Connell does not have a very deep voice. He not in the vein of how he does the Superman's voice, in my personal opinion. But the movie is a really good whodunit movie. It does a really good level of mystery. If you have not read the books, you will actually go, wow, this is actually not very bad. It's not bad at all. But if you've read the books, you're gonna have a good amount of problems with it, and that's being very honest. Um, the whole situation with Poison Ivy made was close to how she was portrayed in the book. The whole situation with the Joker made sense. Um, but there, but if you look on the picture here, it's make it seem like he's very pronounced, like he's been in, like he's very central to the storyline, and he really isn't. Um, you get to meet Jonathan Crane Scarecrow, and you meet an old friend of Bruce Wayne's, which was Thomas Elliot. Now, if you've ever played the games or got at least a brush of history with Hush, you'll understand what the heck is going on. You're gonna understand who Hush is. But the way they constructed this story is, it's a gigantic whodunit, and everything is not what it seems. Um, you get to meet the Riddler and Two Face and in the books, but in the movie you don't really see Two Face at all. It kind of takes out a good chunk of the story, and you don't meet Talia or Ra's al Ghul. But you do meet Lady Shiva, who approaches Bruce about a situation that happened, and it kind of puts more mystery into the whole situation because somebody did something against Raish, and they want to know who the heck did it. Um, So again, I'm trying my best not to really spoil this movie, but it's not a bad movie. It's just they took some liberties with the story, but the end result is what it is. The end result is close to how it was in the books. The only thing they changed, in my personal opinion, is they changed the whole story of Hush and what happened with Hush. Um, it's gonna anger a lot of Batman Hush book enthusiasts who love the book. It might Some people might just go whatever. It's its own story. It's fine. Other people be like, I don't care. It's still good. So I'm on the fence of I like it, but I don't like what they did. It felt like they should not have taken that much of a liberty with Hush, but they should have done kept it very close to the books and took some liberties on other situations. Um, um, the only thing in there that I will rant about this is this is in this story is about Robin. We got introduced to Damian Wayne, but Damian Wayne was never in the book. Never. It was Tim Drake. Tim Drake was Batman's Robin throughout this whole situation because this was before the Son of the Bat story. This is before he even knew about Damian Wayne. He didn't know nothing about his son, and I felt that they did that on the basis of they had to keep it in line with the death of Superman and the whole animated movie universe they're trying to build. And they are building one. You could see it because they have actors and actresses. They have Rainn Wilson still as Lex Luthor from the Batman, the Death of Superman, the Reign of Superman. They have Jerry O'Connell and Rebecca Romijn. They have a lot of the characters from there. Jason O'Hara has been playing Batman, I believe, for about a few years now, 6 or 7, I believe. And they're keeping that universe. So this is still in the Justice League War universe. That New 52 universe. So there is no Tim Drake. It's like Tim Drake doesn't even exist. And that's what upsets me. And I'm trying my best not to really curse. But I personally feel that they took a huge disservice to Tim Drake's character in this. But I still understand that Damian Wayne has to be in there because he was there throughout the rest of these movies, and these movies are still within the same vein as the animated movie universe they're trying to create. Um, the but I still feel that if they keep doing Damian Wayne and not giving any love to Tim Drake, it's just gonna make me not want to watch any more of these movies because it just feels like they want to have Damian Wayne front and center and they don't want Tim Drake anywhere near anything. It's like they want him to be the forgotten Robin. People can say I'm being I'm being anal about it, or they could say that I'm just being a man baby. But how am I being a man baby if his character has been 20 years as Robin? He's been Batman's Robin for a lot of years. Why are you not keeping him? Why are you keeping him out of these animated movies? What is wrong with the Tim Drake character? There's nothing wrong with his character. His character is actually a very cool character. If you don't know anything about him, but you're just all on the fence about, I mean, not on the fence, but you like Damian Wayne, that's fine. I'm not saying anything negative about Damian Wayne. I know why he's there. He's there because he's Bruce Wayne's son. But Tim Drake was his Robin for 20 years, and in my last video, I gave you the reasoning why Bruce looks to Tim as close as his son that he looks at any of his other kids. He regards Tim Drake as a son, even though that's not his son. Even though he adopted him. He didn't have to adopt him. Tim Drake was he can emancipate him as an adult and let him go on his own merry life, but he never did. He kept him as a son. Alfred considers Tim Drake literally a son. His last name changed from Timothy Jackson Drake to Timothy Jackson Drake Wayne. He is a legitimate Wayne by the eyes of the law. But they wrote that out. They took that out of the comics. He doesn't have the last name Wayne. He still has the last name of Drake. And I'm like, what? that was a big plot point between a big upset between Damien and Timothy because in the eyes of the law, Timothy is older than Damien. That means he has more say over what happens with the finances and the whole estate if anything ever happens to Bruce. That Damien cannot have anything until all the others are gone. So that put a lot of pain between both of those characters, and I personally feel that they don't know how to write Tim Drake in there because I don't know I don't understand what's going on with that, and I feel that it's a huge disservice to the character, but but that's just this movie, and that's been a few movies if you really think about it. There's a lot of times in these movies that Tim Drake was there, but they never put him in there. They put Damian Wayne, and that made to me makes no sense. Okay, now another one is this. They did the whole storyline between Catwoman and Bruce Wayne, and Batman revealed his secret identity to her in the movie. Now, this is not a big spoiler. You knew, I mean, eventually it was going to happen, but I'm not going to say the circumstances. I'm going to keep that more to you got to watch it. But they reveal their secret identities, and Bruce reveals that he's Batman to Selina, but he already knew that who she was. I mean, she knew that because he called her Selina a lot of times. He didn't call her Catwoman. He called her Selina. So the world knows that Selina Kyle is Catwoman. So they started this relationship, and it was pretty much predominant in the movie, and that never happened in the books. They flirted with the idea in the books, but they never took it to the next level where they were romantically involved or anything like that. They just really flirted with the idea of both of them finally just doing it. Like they're, and I don't mean like having sex or anything, but what I'm saying is that they just become a couple. And I don't know why they did that in this movie. That took away from the whodunit story. It was pretty distracting because it made in my personal opinion it made no sense to the core of the story. Um, you took a whodunit and you turned it into a romanticism story, and you knew at the very end something was gonna happen. Like it wasn't gonna go well. So I don't know why they did that. I think they were kind of alluding to they're probably gonna do the wedding where Bruce finally proposes to Selena. Maybe in another couple of years they're gonna have that storyline. I don't know. But I don't know why they did that in this story. They could have done that in another story where they can do Nightfall and have that love story in there, but that wouldn't make no sense either. They could do it during No Man's Land when the great earthquake of Gotham swallowed half of Gotham up, and Bruce had to basically, and all the criminals are just rampaging throughout the city, and we get introduced to Cassandra Cain. They could do a two-part movie of No Man's Land and Gotham Rebirth, and have it where Selena is him and Selena are flirting with more the idea of them getting together, even though that city is in ruins. But she's helping, and that did happen in the comics. She did help out the city a lot because she didn't want the city to fall into turmoil. She wasn't thieving all over the place. She actually was stopping criminals. Um, and you got introduced to Cassandra Cain as the new Batgirl. So I don't I personally would have loved them to do that later, but in this movie, to me, it felt like it made no sense, and it felt like it distracted you from the whodunit portion of the story, and the fact that we got introduced to Thomas Elliot. So the movie, again, I'm not saying the movie is bad. I'm saying that there's a lot that they took out that would have really cemented about Hush, and a lot of his criminals, because we got introduced to Bane, the Joker, of course, Harlequin, Poison Ivy, Hush, the Riddler, Clayface, and we got introduced to a good amount of his villains and what they were doing and who was the mastermind behind the whole thing. Was it Hush, or was it somebody behind Hush? We don't know, but there was a lot of things going on behind the shadows, and this was a great this could have been their great whodunit movie, but I don't know if they were trying to not step on toes with Matt Reeves' version of the movie. But who cares? I mean, this is an already established book. What Matt Reeves is doing is he's taking a story but he's going to adapt it in a way that makes it where it's a bigger whodunit movie, and he has a way more core cast of villains. Now, if he is doing a live action version of Hush, then he's already going at it a wrong way because he's introducing a crap ton of villains that makes no sense in the movie anyway. So, I mean, who the heck cares if this one's going by the book? So, I contributed it that they, out of 100% of the book, they took 80% from the book. The last 15 to, I would say 10 to 15% of it was their adaptation. The battle between Superman and Batman was very short, and I wish that they did a little bit more with it. And they did the famous line that Superman's not going to kill me because Superman's a good man. I'm not, and that's something that was said directly from the book, and I really like that line because it shows that Batman will do whatever he has to do, and if he has to kill Superman, that's just them apples. He will do what he has to do. He cannot allow Superman to be under the he would Superman would not allow himself to be under the thrall of anybody, and he'll say, "Kill me if it cannot be helped." So I hope that people watch this movie. Out of 10, I give it a good solid 7. It's a good whodunit, but they took a lot of liberties with it. Um, um, but for right now, it is what it is. And again, I hate that line. I hate the line of "it is what it is." But this could be helped. They didn't have to take this much liberty. They could have still kept it very, very close to the book. They didn't have to take that massive liberty with Hush, and still told a really good kick-ass story. So, in my personal opinion, it's a 7. If they kept it to the identity of Hush and who was behind the whole mastermind behind everything, I would have rated this movie a 9. It would have been a 10 if they had Tim Drake in there and the whole situation with Tim Drake. It would have been a solid 10. A lot of these animated movies are around 7s, 8s, and 7 and 8s. The worst one was Bad Blood. I did not like it. It made no sense. Son of Batman, that made absolutely no sense. And having Damian Wayne beat Deathstroke was literally the worst thing they ever did. And I think that they understood that and they kept that out. Batman Ninja, it's gonna be a controversy for me, but with me, but I didn't like the movie at all. I thought that they really did not serve the character narratives as best as they possibly could. I think they were just trying to do a really kick-ass action oriented movie, and then on top of it again, you have Deathstroke in there, but he's not fighting anybody. He didn't fight anybody. He did, but he didn't fight Batman. He didn't fight Batman. He didn't fight Nightwing. He didn't fight Jason Todd. He fought Damian Wayne, and Damian Wayne put him to a standstill, which is weird and very unnerving. And it continues serves that purpose that Damian Wayne is that much of a badass, and it's like, but wait a minute, Deathstroke should be able to kill this kid. I mean, there's a power tier that makes no sense. If Deathstroke can almost take down Bruce Wayne, and the many times he has taken down Batman, which forced Batman to run, then you're telling me that if Damian Wayne could beat Deathstroke, then that means that Damian Wayne is better than Batman. That makes no sense. So again, watch this movie, judge it for yourself, and you guys have a great day. Like, comment, share, subscribe down below, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.